Hello, good day everyone. I hope you don't mind the silence surrounding me in this video. Our thinking point for today, and it's something which has been brewing in my mind perhaps for the past couple of months now, is that life is not a meritocracy. And maybe that's all right. Again, life is not a meritocracy. And maybe that's okay. I'm in my mid-30s now, and in the past 2 decades, I've had the privilege of having worked in very varied and multiple facets of work. At various points in my life, I've been a newspaper correspondent. For a summer job, I was briefly a barista. Then I went into medical school, and of course I became a doctor, a clinician. At one point in my life, I've also been an online trader, and currently, number 5, I'm managing a few very small businesses, mostly rental units and a small restaurant. Anyway, so very varied aspects of work. Different career paths, you would say. I've tried so many of them. And in each of these kinds of work, what's universal I've experienced among all of them is that it's not necessarily the most hardworking. It's not necessarily the most efficient worker. Not necessarily the guy who has the highest performance review, who gets ahead, who will get the promotion. More often than not, the people who get ahead, which we will define here as climbing the career ladder in their respective work domain, are the people who are not the most hardworking. The people who get ahead are not the best performers objectively, but rather, these are the people who are most sociable. These are the people who already know the people in the work environment they're working with. Maybe they're the niece, the nephew of the big boss. They are the inaanak of the boss that's very common in the Philippines where I'm in. Inaanak means you're the godson or the goddaughter. Very common in the corporate setting especially. Or maybe the guy, and I've seen this, who gets ahead, who gets promoted, is not necessarily the family member of the boss, but they're good friends. Their family and the family of the boss are very close to each other. So it's not meritocracy which got these people ahead. It's something else. It's their social skills. It's their connections. Sometimes, whether we like it or not, they are born into these connections. They just receive it. They are born into it. And at first, every time I witnessed this happening, I felt really bad. And I couldn't accept it. I can't accept it. It just doesn't sit with me that being the hardest worker or being the best performer is not equal to being the top candidate for a promotion or climbing the career ladder. And then the past couple of months, the past couple of weeks, I've been thinking real hard about this situation. And I realized that it's true. Life is not a meritocracy. Universally, across any kind of work you will run into. But maybe that's all right. Maybe that's not a problem after all. And the reason why I thought of this is because for the longest time, work has been the center of my life. Work has been, I'll be honest, my identity. But if you don't make your work your center, if you don't make your work who you are, and really, of course, it's not. It's just a tiny, minute fraction of who you are. If you don't make your work your God, your boss, then this whole meritocracy thing will be insignificant. It will not really matter too much. Because anyway, your work is just a tiny fraction of who you are, of what you do. So what? If it's not a meritocracy, right? So what? It's not your life anyway. And secondly, the fact that a life is not meritocracy also teaches us how to live and how to work. For one, it teaches us that, as we've already mentioned, work should not be the center of your life. It shouldn't be your number one priority. It's just one aspect of who you are. And secondly, the fact that life is not a meritocracy teaches us to take it easy. Don't overexert ourselves. Don't overexert yourself for someone else's dream, for your boss's dream. Why would you do that? Why would you spend your free time working? Do you own the company? Think about it. Life is not a meritocracy, and maybe it's not such a bad thing. That's our thinking point for today. Thank you very much, everyone, and I'll see you soon in our next thinking point video. Bye-bye.